Hey everybody, it's Callie. Um, at the moment, I am in the middle of cooking one of my and my family's favorite recipe. This is one I learned from, again, my mother-in-law, and I'm cooking with the baby. It's not easy. Um, anyway, it's one of her recipes, and I love it. But while I was doing this, I thought, let's talk about meat, because meat is one of the biggest and most consumed foods in America, or in the United States. And so as I was saying, meat is one of the most consumed um, foods in the United States. So for a while, back when I had pancreatitis, I actually had to quit eating meat because I was eating fast food. I was eating restaurant food, which is a certain grade of meat, which lets you know about the quality. So with that said, uh, I kind of want to get into meat just for a minute and give my opinion for whatever that's worth. I used to not eat meat because, like I said, I couldn't process it. And so during that time, what I did was I did some research on meat and learned about how it's made, where it comes from, different things, how it's treated. And what I find is really, really disturbing. Just that alone, it's really terrible. So as I started to learn more, I decided, even if I could start eating meat again, I wouldn't, because all of the meat is so mass produced. They're treated terrible, they're fed terrible, pumped with antibiotics and hormones, like our chicken, for instance, all right? What's going on in American chicken industries is absolutely abhorrent. It's terrible. Um, they feed these chickens so much, they pump them up with hormones, and so they grow fast, and antibiotics, because they just all sit there. They grow so fast that their legs cannot support their body. I'll try to put some links in the description, but it's really hard to see, and even worse if you're an avid, chicken eater. If you like chicken, if you eat a lot of chicken. Me personally, I don't eat a lot of chicken, but my family does. So when we shop meat, we make sure to get from locally raised, so we know how they're being treated. We know what's going on with the chickens. Because these chickens, they don't move, they don't use their muscles, and this is mass produced chicken, okay? So this is the chicken that's in your Walmarts, basically in your everyday convenience stores. It's going to be your mass distributed chicken. So same thing with cows, and also milk, all right? There's a saying, you are what you eat. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily if you eat a cow, you're going to turn into a cow, although, that's a whole other thing. But what that means is you take on the vibrational resonance of your food, okay? So if you are eating something, for instance, that is grown in nature, that has a complete natural DNA structure, it's vibrating at a high level, all right? You're going to vibrate at a high level. You're going to feel good. You're going to feel clear-minded. You're going to feel, in a good high place, all right? And I know this from experience, because when I quit eating meat and I started to eat it again, I would notice how I would feel. And when you're eating meat that has been traumatized, abused, mistreated, that, and not just that, but it's dead. So, after days, like, decay starts to happen, things start to break down, so you're eating really low vibrational, really heavy foods, and you'll notice that after you eat them, you'll feel heavy, like, oh man, I can't move. I gotta go have I gotta go into a food coma to process all this food I just ate. And a lot of the times we have to, because it's hard to process. So when you're eating fruit, you're like high and free, you know, like nature. And then when you eat other stuff, you got to think of what you eat, why it changes your vibrational resonance. Like when people eat shrooms, that's why they learn things. They take on the vibrational resonance. Okay, anyway, you take on the vibrational resonance of your food. With that said, I am not against eating meat. I think if you're a very conscious meat eater and you're eating meat that has been raised and grown and treated properly, I don't see the problem with it. Also, hunting, if you want to hunt your own food to sustain your family and your life, I don't have a problem with it because every species on earth has to eat what we eat. It's just a matter of what and how. So I'm not against meat, but I am against these industrialized commercial food industries that are destroying not only the environment with methane, you know, being one of the major pollutants in our air right now. I'm completely against that. And I did another video, over 90 billion tons of waste each year from the farming industry, and that's just, so all these animals are dying for nothing. Like, I'm okay with taking a life to sustain a life. Everything in nature does it, but I'm not okay with this mass amount of gross waste, you know, killing lives that didn't have to die, you know, treating them in ways that it's like when you have 100 cows, you want to do things quickly. It's not you can spend time with those cows. You can't love those cows. You can't put love into them. They get fear. They're fed fear. They're treated terribly. I can't say this about all, but I have seen some terrible, terrible things that I won't even mention because it's so terrible. You can Google it. It's for everyone to see, like public people will say. So that's just what it is. It's terrible. And yeah, so with that said, just be conscious of the meat you eat. I think these industries need to be shut down and we need to go back to growing and sustaining our own food on an individual level. See, it's like you can blame them, but it's really our fault because we've become so lazy that we don't take our own food into our own initiative. We want other people to kill our food. We want other people to prepare our food. It's like, let's start doing these things ourselves. Take the power away from these companies destroying our lives because it's not healthy we eat these. We get real sick from the food they are mass producing for us. So wouldn't it be better to just produce our own and feel good with our food? So yeah, anyway, that's just a quick little, it was just in my mind, you know, let's talk about meat. So I'm happy to be back. I missed you guys all. I hope you stay tuned for my later videos. All right, if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead if you'd like to. But other than that, you guys take care.